Great Scott. Great Scott. Great Scott.
Hello everyone, and welcome to another fabulous episode of Great Scott. I'm Scotty V. Thanks for watching. So, last night, it won't be last night when you watch this, but for me right now, it's last night, Jimmy Kimmel premiered the all-new, brand new, what we can only assume is the last full-length trailer for Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice. Now, a few days before, we had a little clip that aired with the Gotham mid-season finale that showed, a lot of people were really worried about it because it showed Superman having apparently captured Batman, tied up in that strange underground bunker where we saw Superman's soldiers. We see him come down. He looks pissed off. He looks disgusted. Batman looks scared to death, and by all accounts he should be, even though most people would say Batman is never afraid. He experienced the greatest fear in his life when his parents were killed, and he's gotten over that now, and now he doesn't really feel fear or oftentimes other emotions either. But we saw that little clip, and it looked really bad because it really made Superman look like the bad guy, or that maybe there was a clone of Superman, or that there was a Bizarro type situation, or what I figure is that this is a nightmare sequence since Batman is now so obsessed and so afraid of what might happen. You know, the tagline, not the tagline, but the only official description we've received is fearing the actions of a godlike being in Metropolis. Batman comes out of retirement in order to protect the Earth from what is perceived as the possibility of a threat. So he's so afraid of what Superman could become that he has this nightmare that shows Superman having him captured and therefore helpless to do anything to save the world or whatever. So there was a lot of consternation about that because people were saying, well, the general audience, the general public won't know that this is a clone or that this is a nightmare. Nobody knows. We're just assuming. So the general audience can assume the same way. People can go, that's not Superman. Superman doesn't act like that. That must be a nightmare. That must be a dream sequence. That must be And we know that Zack Snyder has a penchant for using these dark nightmare scenarios. He did it for Superman with Zod in the Man of Steel movie, where Superman himself felt complicit in the destruction of the world. There were skulls all around him. He was in a black suit. So it's not like it hasn't been done before. And of course, Superman fans who see this say that can't be Superman, and then other people go, well, clearly it's Superman. But the thing is, it makes people talk about it, it gets people going, so that got us ramped up to see this next trailer, which of course premiered on Jimmy Kimmel this week, and he had Ben Affleck on. It was a little cute thing that they did beforehand, where Jimmy kept calling him Batman, and he kept saying, you know, I'm just playing Batman, right? And he's asked him what his real name was. He goes, oh, of course I know your real name, it's Bruce Wayne, of course. Which I thought was very funny, and Affleck looks great, and they made him look older in the movie. As you see on the show, when he's just himself, he doesn't look that old at all. And here's the trailer, and here I am. Before I got to watch the trailer, because I was so busy with delivering papers last night, and then I got back so late that I had to go right out to drive the bus this morning, and I just got back, and I just finally got to watch it. It's like 9:30 in the morning. And I watched it, and what I was thinking at first was I had heard one of the lines of dialogue from Lex on the radio. I thought it sounded stupid. I had seen a picture of what appears to be Doomsday that we see later on in the trailer, and I was worried. I was concerned, and I'm driving around, and I'm going, you know what? This is such a great thing that's happening that no one ever expected would ever happen as a Superman fan, as a Batman fan, as a superhero fan, as a Lex Luthor, Lois Lane fan, as a fan of comic books, and as Superman being the greatest joy in my life in terms of entertainment. No one ever expected that this would happen, so my feeling was, especially after seeing that little clip earlier in the week, and then seeing this picture of what looks like Doomsday, I'm starting to get really concerned that, Warner Brothers isn't happy with what Man of Steel did at the box office, so they're bringing Batman in, and now they're planning on killing Superman because they don't feel like they can even do a sequel with him because it just didn't make enough money. So my concern now is this is Doomsday, and Doomsday doesn't have a blast of whatever that was that came out of his eyes and mouth normally, but they could change it up for the movie. But it certainly looks like Doomsday. He's got the spikes. He's gray. Could be something else. I don't know. I don't know what else it would be. That is a fantastic... That's the Trinity! there they are, and you can't even imagine that you would ever see something like that. But that, here we are in December. It's about to be the holidays soon. Everyone's getting excited, and this, as fans, the greatest present. I mean, if that isn't an awesome holiday present, I don't know what else could be. I mean, it's just great. It's like, even though the movie's not out for a few more months yet, we get a little surprise here just in time for the holidays to get us really excited. So I was expecting to be worried and concerned, and I still could be, because they still could say, well, let's kill them off, because then maybe that'll make them more popular. And that's not even necessarily a problem, because I've always wanted to see the Doomsday, Return of Superman type of thing done in live action, but it just seems too early. It seems like he's too new. It seems like you got the two factions, the people who don't even trust him and don't even want him here. It should be, he should be beloved, and people should really miss him when he's gone, so that it's really impactful if he dies. That being said, we don't know that he's going to die. That being said, we don't know for sure that this is Doomsday, even though it looks like Doomsday. Couple of things. Almost every line that Lex says in any of the trailers has me cringing. So the line that I heard on the radio before I got to watch the trailer was the one about the Bat of Gotham versus the last son of Krypton. It's an epic clash of titans, of gladiators, greatest thing the world has ever seen. And it sounds silly because, and I know I've covered this before, but who would ever think that a lunatic mental case dressed as a bat would be the perfect match or a great gladiatorial contest against Superman, who stopped other Kryptonians from destroying the world? And Lex Luthor's supposed to be a super genius. How could he ever think that he could make it? Well, I'm sure he has a plan, but it just sounds silly. A mental case dressed in a bat suit is going to take on Superman. But he also has the greatest line in the trailer, and maybe the greatest line I've ever heard in any trailer ever, and that is, wow, that's a great Krypt you got there. Do not pick a fight with this person. I laughed out loud sitting here in my house. At the end of the trailer, when Wonder Woman comes and blocks the blast from that demon or Doomsday or whatever it is, and Superman says, is she with you? And Batman says, I thought you brought her. It was great. I loved it. I loved it. I clapped in my house. There's no audience here, but I'm clapping anyway because I thought it was fan-frickin' fantastic. I also love when they're fighting and Superman says, stay down. If I wanted to, you'd be dead already. Which, I don't know that Superman would ever say that, but the point is that, yes, a Batman versus Superman, if Superman wanted him dead, he'd be dead. In most cases. So, it's just super exciting to see that they're addressing that in the movie. The fact that Superman could blink his eyes and Batman would die. If there's going to be a way, and Lex Luthor is going to be a part of it, where they're actually going to face each other and it's going to be believable for a short time. I mean, even when you see Batman firing at him from the bat plane, Superman covers up, but I don't know why. But then 2 seconds later, he's just floating forward and they're bouncing off him like nothing, which is what it would be. So we saw a scene in an earlier trailer where it looked like Superman was kneeling in weakness, or some people said it was Bizarro again, or some people said he was being mind-controlled. I always just thought, because I saw some green glowing, I always just thought it was a kryptonite type of a situation, and that he was being weakened by that. And then we had the exploding nuclear facility, which happened in the Dark Knight book. So there could be this whole thing where Lex Luthor is starting these things that make Superman weaker so that he can pit Batman and Superman against each other. And I do love the idea that Lex Luthor seems to be the orchestrator of this whole thing. He wants them to clash. He wants them to face off. He wants them both out of his way. And of course, it appears that he's the creator or the architect behind this Doomsday or creature character that we see. So I don't know if this is the Doomsday or if the people who are making the movie are just kind of want fans to get the idea that this is a Doomsday type of situation. But I mean, everything about the trailer, there's not one thing in the trailer that I don't like. There's a questionable line from Bruce. It works because of what it means and what it indicates. The idea that maybe it's just a Gotham in me. I have this thing against people who run around dressed like clowns. Superman's not dressed like a clown. But then when I watched it a second time, it seemed like maybe he was accusing Clark of being Superman and being now dressed as a clown. Because if he was accusing Superman of dressing like a clown, he runs around dressed like a bat. So I'm not really sure that, as far as hypocritical, he says it's hypocritical for Clark Kent to say there's a vigilante running around when he has a Superman running around in his town that saves cats from trees and gets puff pieces written about him. So I don't know. And I'm not sure that he's talking to Lex when he says, "What have you done?" I'm not sure who he's talking to. That might even be part of the dream sequence. There's just a lot of great stuff going on. I'm assuming most of the explosions, beams, fighting that's happening is the three of them fighting the doomsday-ish creature and not Superman blasting his full heat vision at Batman on the side of a building, because he even says, "If I wanted you dead, you would be." Again, not necessarily a Supermanish line, but maybe cool to make a point. Thanks, everybody, for watching. I'm excited now. March can't get here soon enough. We got Supergirl on TV. We got Batman v Superman with Wonder Woman and Aquaman and possibly Doomsday, and just great stuff going on. Clark Kent in full regalia, the glasses doing the reporter thing. We did see him in some still shots earlier. We knew it was coming, but it's very exciting nonetheless. Get excited, stay excited, and remember, always, always look up in the sky. Just psychotic, a 3-syllable word for any thought that's too big for little minds.